This is a review for Perfect Effect Orgin Leonidas. This is Perfect Effects Orgin Leonidas, and boy, he's a beautiful boy. And now, this is actually not the original figure. Since the added on Orgin name, this is not the original figure. This is actually a real release with some new paint apps. And more closely resembling Beast Wars 2nd. The sequel, the Japanese sequel to Beast Wars. It's not Beast Machines in the Japanese media. It also has some remolded parts with the chest and head. And I think that looks a lot better. The box looks pretty cool, representing the Beast Wars 2nd art style much. But I do like the first release of the box art better. In my opinion, it was more like stylized and it was kind of painted, water painted, and I thought that looked really cool, but whatever. Now let's move on to the figure. Beautiful. That's the only word I could say for this guy. It's beautiful. It looks like one of those Flame Toys figures, huh? It has lots of die-cast parts, such as right here on his calf, there's some metallic parts. On his shoulder, there's some metallic parts. On his arm, there's some metallic parts. There is a lot of metal parts on this guy. Also, the chest is remolded, which you could actually open up to find a little bit of a matrix. The head looks absolutely brilliant. It looks just like the cartoon. It has some yellow eyes, which match the cartoon, at least I think. And the lion head. No, I do have a problem with it. In the grr face, it's kind of looks weird and looks a bit too robotic, but still looks awesome. Also, the detail on this guy is fantastic. You can see just some little stuff that just make the figure great. Now, the posability. Oh boy, posability. Right here on the head, there's a ball joint, and also on the neck, there's a ball joint. You may think it may get it mixed up, but no, it doesn't really. So, yeah. The arm is on a ball joint, which is very nice. It's also on a swivel, which is also good. Arm rotation upwards, hand rotation, finger clomping outwards. And also the hand can move downwards, which is a nice touch in my opinion. Now this is cool. It has a ball jointed chest joint, which makes for an ab crunch and a backwards forward. It goes backwards too. And the main part of the body also moves. The legs are on a ball joint, which can get kind of loose. The leg can move upwards and also has a double joint, which is very clickety. It has a ball joint at the foot, which is really nice, that most Masterpiece figures don't even have, which allows for an arcing back at the foot. Also, toe articulation. That is really cool. So yeah, that's all the articulation of this guy. Now we should move to the swords. They're actually removable from these sheaths, and they're actually fully die cast. You could actually hurt somebody with these. Another thing that you could hurt with somebody with this figure is the tail. But I do have a complaint with it. It pops off way too easily. Also, if you don't get the tail on the right pose, and just that, maybe because the end tail part is really heavy. Also, did I mention the end tail part is really sharp? You could really stab someone with this thing. This toy is dangerous. Yeah, because, on the box it says 16 plus, so yeah. I think they get the idea. Now let's move on to the plastic quality. It's great. It's very solid. It's not horrible. but there is some loose joints. Yeah. Specifically on the legs. They're kind of very loose ball joints. So that might be a problem. But some people don't have loose ball jointed legs. Some people have loose ball jointed arms, which I don't have. They're completely solid and they're actually kind of tight. Oh, whatever. Okay, I think we're done with the robot mode. Now it's time for the accessories. The cool thing about this is that you could store all of his accessories on his body. You have his gigantic sword, which looks a heck of a lot like the sword from Fall of Cybertron that Grimlock wielded. You also have his guns that could go on his bum. They're very similar to the G1 guns, but actually they could be put it in different ways. They could put it 2 different ways. You could also extend it for like a rifle. Pretty cool. Here is his crossbow, which looks awesome anyways. But his crossbow, his part where you put the crossbow is incredibly hard to put on. I mean, seriously, you gotta have a muscle, man, just to do this. And the sad part is that you need to plug this on to plug in the sword. With that minor complaint aside, now for the scale of the figure. It's about as big as Masterpiece Optimus Prime. I mean, it's a tad bit smaller, kind of. But yeah, it's the same size, it's leader class. So Masterpiece Primal is quite smaller. He's about a couple inches smaller, actually. Because, well, Masterpiece Primal was smaller than Masterpiece Prime, MP10. So that's kind of expected because this guy is the same size as MP10. Dinobot, on the other hand, he is kind of bigger. I think I like how they scale together. Period. With that minor complaint aside, let's go on to the transformation. The transformation is kind of easy. It's not really complex, so you don't have to worry about breaking such an expensive figure. Because most of the transformation is integrated with the posability, which means that there's not much kibble in the figure, which is a good thing. Anyways, let's talk about it. So the lion mode is very, very technology old. I don't think it's a word, but I'm gonna make it a word. It doesn't even look like a lion. It looks like well, it does look like a lion, but it just looks like a robot lion. Which kind of misses the point of Beast Wars, but I don't care, it looks awesome. The head actually looks kind of cute even. And it has different expressions on the way you look at it. Like if you look at it to the front, it looks kind of happy. When you look at it from the side, it looks like he's gonna tear off your face. I would have liked that that more of the parts are white so it can blend in with the lion mode more. But it's okay. The tail's here. That's all I gotta say. It's the same tail. Same dealio. Also, you can have cannons on his back, which looks pretty cool. It's kind of the same with the lion mode for articulation. Yeah, the lion mode, it's kind of less limited than the robot mode articulation, but there's still some. There's an articulating lion head. It looks kind of weird from the side because it doesn't really have a neck. An opening and closing mouth. Ball jointed. Same joints for the arm. Not much joints for the legs. Pretty much the same dealio all around. So, final thoughts? this figure is outstanding. Of all the complaints, I was just really nitpicking. This guy is awesome. It is like an art piece. You know those Flame Toys figures? They're great. Maybe you don't have the best plastic quality. It still looks awesome. So yeah, this is a fantastic figure. I recommend you buying it. Meh. It's a fantastic toy with its great posability and well, okay price. I didn't really pay that much for it because I split it in half. So if you're going full price on this guy, yeah, it's pretty big. But it's still a fantastic toy. And that was my review for Perfect Effect Orgin Leonidas from Beast to Muscle. Bye.
Stop laughing! Finish your homework! You're laughing too much!